thank you, first of all, everyone for being here. I want to make it very clear, this event is actually co-hosted with AFSCME Chapter 5 Retirees United, which is the AFSCME retirees who's come before us and laid the groundwork for our union that we now see today. So we proudly co-host this forum with the retirees tonight. So this forum will be recorded so we can make sure to share it with folks across our membership. This will be uploaded to our YouTube page and then shared out via email to make sure that more members see this as much as possible. So I want to also be sure to thank our Council 5 political department. So that includes Abdul Omar, Laura Asklin, Sandy Walleen. I also want to make sure to thank all of our Council 5 staff and all of you for being here today. This really takes a teamwork approach. There's a lot of work that goes into some of these, as President Hesse had mentioned, but I just want to make it very clear that this takes a teamwork event, and I'm so grateful for everybody's assistance in putting this together today. So I want to explain how we got here tonight. I want to explain some of the logistics, some of the background that got us to this point tonight. So we sent invitations to gubernatorial candidates from Democrats, so consisting of Governor Walz, to other Republican candidates across the board. So we sent it to all declared Republican candidates. I wanted to make sure, and Julie and Eric and everybody wanted to make sure that this was as open and transparent process that allowed for collaboration, allowed for member input. So thank you to those who submitted questions for this forum this evening. We are going to be getting to as many as we possibly can, but just want to make it very clear to those of you who are on the call tonight, and folks who are going to see this recording later, that we did extend that invite. And either Republican candidates who are obviously not joining us tonight, either some of them outright declined so that they cannot support our basic rights to collectively bargain. They cannot support our rights to due process. They cannot support protecting our defined benefit pensions, which, as President Hesse mentioned in his speech, is a complete slap in the face. We are completely open and transparent and wanted to make sure as many Republicans could have joined us tonight as possible. But if they can't agree to our abilities to even exist, you know, it's pretty hard to be able to to hold them accountable in other ways outside of this forum. And ensure, especially like when it comes to the endorsement process that'll ultimately go to the Council 5 Executive Board. So I want to expand upon the formatting a little bit. As you notice, this is a webinar style. If we had held this in a normal Zoom, this would have been capped at 300. We wanted to make sure as many members could participate and see this forum as possible. So we actually increased it to 1,000, but we had to change it to a webinar style. So we just wanted to make sure that as many members could join us as possible tonight. I want to make it clear that all members, we made sure that members had an ample opportunity to submit questions. We gave them quite a wide time frame to make sure that they're sending in questions that we get to as many as possible. So again, I already said it, but I just want to make sure I'm expressing it very clearly. Thank you for submitting those questions, and we'll get to as many as we possibly can. So I want to go into some of the other pieces that we want to share tonight. So obviously we built in 2 hours with folks tonight in this forum. So that would have provided for more opportunity and more time to actually engage in the questioning of gubernatorial candidates if more had agreed to participate. But I just want to make sure that we're expressing kind of our people process, our people political action committee. I want to go through some of our endorsements and actually the amount of work that goes into producing an endorsement at the end of the day. There's a lot of questioning, a lot of hard work, a lot of long nights that go into these endorsements. So we just want to make sure we're being transparent and open with members and clearly communicating how these endorsements are made. So I want to make it very clear. So our endorsements that you may see that stem from our People Political Action Committee are funded through voluntary contributions. So I just want to make that very clear. Those are separate contributions that a lot of our members make to make sure that we elect our own bosses. At the end of the day, as President Hesse had mentioned and Julie mentioned it, all of your jobs are funded through tax dollars, which means that we have to have supporters in elected office who are going to champion our issues. People are going to make sure that we have investments in our workplaces, who are going to make sure we have policies in place that actually move us forward and not policies that move us, that bring us backwards. So those are completely funded by voluntary contributions, and just wanted to make that abundantly clear. So I want to go through our endorsement process, and a lot of folks that I can actually see on the participants tab are involved heavily in our people committee process. So our people committees, we have several different people committees. They're based strictly, you can go and look at how they're structured actually in the AFSCME Council 5 Constitution. So they're broken out the exact same way as the districts, but you've got geographic areas where members are able to get together. They actually look at the questionnaires that candidates are required to fill out before seeking our endorsement and going into the screening. Members debate, they discuss those issues before the screenings even begin, see if there's any questions that they can develop or anything for all of the candidates who want to screen with us. The same process that we follow tonight is the same process that we follow with our screening committees. And so just making it very clear, we're making sure that our policies are standardized, where we invite all of the candidates to participate in our processes. So once they kind of debate the questionnaires, once they can go through some of the answers from the candidates, the candidates will be invited to speak for about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the particular screening schedule that night. But they'll go through the questions once the candidates get in. They'll either go through some of the answers that they tick off in the questionnaire, or if they have additional questions, they'll go through that as well. They're completely run by members for members. We want to make it absolutely clear these are member-run people committees, and we are so grateful for all of the enormous amount of work that they put into that process, as well as obviously our staff, Sandy, Laura, and Abdul from our political department. They do incredible work with some of the logistics and kind of figuring out those pieces. But the questions are strictly for members by members, and those are open to any dues-paying member of AFSCME Council 5 to go see. So what they'll do is they'll ask those questions, and then at the end of the night, they will discuss whether or not that individual or what's out of the set of individuals that they'll screen for are worthy of the AFSCME Council 5 endorsement. And so a lot of folks here today, obviously, you are probably the most familiar with the political activism and the legacy that we have as a union politically, and engaging our members, getting that activism roaring, the green machine. So we have that structure in place that those members can hash out those endorsements, making sure that they are a proper fit for our union, and making sure that they support all of our values. So once they kind of make up a recommendation for endorsement, that'll immediately get sent to the AFSCME Council 5 Executive Board. The Council 5 Executive Board is the final decision maker when it comes to election endorsements. And so actually the gubernatorial endorsement will be decided ultimately by the AFSCME Council 5 Executive Board, but we wanted to make sure that we were including as many members as possible, because the forward direction of our union, of our state and our country is dependent on making sure that we're continuing to engage our members as much as possible, and listening, asking their questions, making sure we're holding elected officials accountable to what we call our shared values conversations. So that's everything from protecting our pensions, protecting our health care, our right to collectively bargain. These are all the issues that every single person on this call, everyone who's going to listen to this as part of the AFSCME family, cares about. These are issues that actually bring us together as working people, and not issues that are divisive or that politicians attempt to use as a divisive issue. These are the issues that bring us together. So I just wanted to make sure that we're explaining that process. I want to share just a quick statistic that in 2020 alone, our people screening committee members put in over 120 hours worth of screenings, worth of questioning of candidates, 120 hours over a period of multiple months. So there's a lot of work that goes into this. And so I just want to, again, shout out all the members of the people committee, our staff, who helped to make that process run as effectively and efficiently for our members as humanly possible. So I'm super excited to have been able to share that with you tonight.